think it was the best game I've watched all year. There wasn't a lot of defence being played in this game. It was all out of tackle order.
Well, it's very rare that you get someone kick 7 in Toby Greene, then you've got 5 goal hauls to Waitman and also Norton. So it was a good game of footy, but this is where it was won and lost. They started well, the Dogs. The Giants fought back, but centre clearances through this third quarter. It was 6 goals to 2 in favour of the Western Bulldogs, and they're really vulnerable in defence, the GWS Giants, and they got exposed by Norton and Waitman in the air, and then at ground level by some of these guys, McNeil and obviously Anthony Scott. Waitman, how courageous was that? We'll talk about him soon. He was brilliant last night.
He was. Dislocated elbow, and a really good tackle late in the game with that dislocated elbow. But when you come into the Sunday Footy Show and you demand the plasma in your first segment ever on the Sunday Footy Show, here's BJ.
It's hard to push Lordy aside from here, but what I want to highlight was the best man on the ground last night, clearly kicking 7 goals. But it was Toby Greene. Was you see a couple of things here. He takes a great contested mark, but I really wanted just to highlight the lack of respect and accountability Bulldogs showed for him. So coming into the game, Bulldogs would have known this, all of us knew this, that Toby Greene's record against the Bulldogs is the best of his against any other team in the competition across his career. So they knew they've had trouble with him in the past. But as we see here, Alex Keith was on him initially, tried to push up to get involved in team defence, and there's just a lack of accountability for him here. When you leave a guy that's the best forward on the ground, with no one on him inside 50, he's going to do damage. And he was going to be the difference coming into the game, and he nearly was the difference. So I'm just highlighting that. And I just feel there's a flakiness about the Bulldogs' team defence and overall defence, particularly their back six, which is their record this year in 2022. But they're really flaky in their team defence, and that'll really hurt them when they play really good teams and if they are able to make finals.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Start from
14
BJ.
score involvements for Toby Greene. He was enormous. It was good to see Bontempelli back as well, Brownie. I thought he was moving from contest to contest better than I've seen him for a long time. I reckon he's just been going, but with Bailey Smith not there last night, more midfield time for Bontempelli, and that was it. So the one possession, turning it into 2, kicking the ball front of centre inside 50. So he ended up with 29. He had 9 score involvements, 7 clearances, and it was the complete game. So through the midfield, Bontempelli, and I thought McRae as well, 37 and 9 tackles for McRae, really led from the front. It's always been their strength, the midfield at the Dogs.
Brownie, you referenced the injury to Cody Waitman with the elbow that was dislocated when he fell over and was clearly in a lot of pain as a result of that. And they strapped it up and he got back out there and played his role in a very courageous way. The problem now is what happens when it cools down and they get a proper scan on it. This is another problem for the Bulldogs when Taylor Giray's right knee buckles there. It's a medial cruciate ligament. It's better than being an ACL, but at the same time, it's going to be quite serious. And this also happened with Braden Pruce's ankle giving way there after that contact with Tim English, and it's unknown as to how many matches he will be sidelined as a result of that.
It's an amazing effort from Waitman. Like he's been criticised for playing for free kicks. His level of respect now after doing something like that is going to go through the roof. And he came back on, as you alluded to, Brownie, laid a tackle, was involved in a really strong contested effort. So to do that under duress, not many players, I don't reckon.
You can't praise that enough, I don't think. Your teammates around that, your coaching staff and all your fans at the moment just take the admiration for that guy to a new level, don't they?
Because a lot wouldn't do it, would they? Some players don't have the mental capacity, BJ, to come on and play with injury like that.
No, definitely not. And particularly being such a young player, we've all been there and we had an excuse that when we get injured and I'll put my hand up. But when they're already a player down, then to have I'm sure there's probably a word to him saying, mate, we need you. Yeah. Just push through this. And for him to do that, he'll take that forward and go, well, I can arguably deal with injuries throughout my career, but I can get through, and particularly for his team was really important.